Liam joins me now. Thank you very much. Liam, look, what Keir Starmer was trying to do there was put some clear division between himself and the Conservative Party. You could argue the Conservative Party had done that for him, really, with Kwasi Kwarteng's massive package. Controlled immigration as well as another topic that we've got here. The economic divide. Talk to me about nationalisation, OK? This great British energy.
He basically had to sort of spread himself across the political spectrum today, because on the one hand, he wanted to show, middle Britain, if you like, centre ground voters, the kind of people he's going to need to win the election, that the Labour Party is now the party in fiscal responsibility. They can find money for the top 1%, even though there's a cost of living crisis. The Tories have crashed sterling. They've lost control of the economy. At the same time, though, of course, he had to throw something to the left of the party, and he got the biggest cheer of all for when he said he would create, the Labour Party in government would create great British energy. Now, we don't know what that means. Is he going to nationalise the whole of the British energy sector? We don't know. Or is it just going to be one company? Though he did confirm that whatever it is, it would be in public ownership, and on the words in public ownership, instant standing ovation and the longest applause of the entire speech.
Yeah, I couldn't help but wonder whether or not Keir Starmer's entire speech could have just been, and to one continuous standing ovation, just NHS, nationalisation, that kind of stuff. One thing I've been desperate to talk to you about for a while now, and I'm glad that you've come back on, is about no tax cuts for top earners. Oh, and we're going to use this to help fund the NHS and staff within the NHS. Does that add up?
It doesn't add up, because the cut of the top rate of income tax, what's called the additional rate, from 45 to 40%, 40p in the pound, it doesn't really raise much money. It's a couple of £1 billion, which is small change when it comes to the public finances. And Patrick, cutting that top rate of tax, it may even gain you money. So we don't really know. What really costs money in Kwasi Kwarteng's mini budget, massive misnomer, of course, because it's been so hugely influential on currency markets and elsewhere. What really costs money is that energy price cap. And no one would say we don't need the energy price cap. That could cost 50, 100, 150, 200 billion. No one knows, because it depends, of course, on wholesale energy prices. What I would say, maybe, the rules are different when you stand at a dispatch box and you're giving like a sort of budget type statement. What you say then, it must add up. You're in the House of Commons. There's sort of slightly looser rules in politics if you're sort of tub-thumping, high rhetoric at a party conference. But if you look at this speech, we're going to nationalise at least part of our energy industry. Well, that's double-digit billions. We're going to insulate 16 million homes. Well, that's double.
And continue to support Ukraine.
It adds up. The financial clock is ticking, and so. I'm sure the Tories will come back now with, you said Kwasi Kwarteng's mini budget was expensive. What about your conference speech?
Well, indeed, this is it. And of course, he got everyone to stand up and say basically support for Ukraine and say something I can't pronounce in Ukrainian. Was it Slava Ukraine or something? I don't know. Anyway, he got everyone
to Ukraine.
There you go. Thank you very much. It's good to have a speaker here. But and he was saying all that. Well, that costs money as well. We've got all sorts of stuff here that costs money, and it does make me wonder whether or not actually much of it adds up. I suppose that's the question as old as time. When it comes
politics is about feeling and emotion. It's people like you and me, we analyse closely what's said. We look at the numbers and we build spreadsheets and all this kind of thing. But most people vote on feeling and credibility.
Yes.
And there's absolutely no doubt, Patrick, the Tories are losing ground. Objectively, they're losing ground when it comes to their reputation for fiscal competence. That's why so many Conservative MPs are nervous at what's been happening on currency markets, and in particular on the market for debt, which translates into more expensive mortgages. So he had an open goal today. He didn't hit the corner flag. Maybe he hit the post.
It wasn't quite a Yapstam penalty that ends up in Rosette. Liam Halligan.
Come on, he's got the best record for penalties.
I saved one of his penalties on Friday Night Feast as a challenge Christie's. We digress. Liam Halligan there, our economics and business editor. Only myself and Mark Crosley have ever done that, Liam.